Last week I started this series in which we explore urban legends from every single state. I didn't want to do it in alphabetical order, so I had a random state generator decide for us. So, here are urban legends from Virginia. Enjoy. The Tale of Bunnyman Bridge. This first one I did a video on a while back, so I will link it below. If you go to Colchester Overpass in Clifton, Virginia, you will find it has spawned a bizarre and eerie legend that has been a source of local curiosity for many years. According to the legend, a group of convicts were being transferred to a nearby insane asylum, but their bus crashed en route somewhere near the overpass. 2 convicts evaded capture, and a search party was sent out after them. Unfortunately, both met a dismal fate. The first convict was discovered dead, hanging from the overpass, with a note taped to him that read, "The Bunnyman." Assuming the second victim was the murderer, police set out to find him as fast as they could before he caused more damage. Supposedly, they discovered many half-eaten rabbits hanging from the trees surrounding the area. When authorities finally found him, he was hit by a passing train and killed before they could place him under arrest. Like many urban legends, the facts behind the story are sparse. There was never an insane asylum near the overpass, for one, and no official record of the crime even exists. But that has not stopped the story from being told. People have reported seeing a man dressed in a rabbit outfit near the bridge. Some say that if you cross the bridge at midnight on Halloween, you'll come face to face with the hatchet-wielding killer dressed in a bunny costume. The tragic ghost of Sarah Henry. American patriot Patrick Henry's wife Sarah is famous for haunting the Scotchtown plantation in Hanover County, where she lived the last years of her life. After giving birth to her 6th child, she developed acute mental illness, so bad she often had to be restrained with a straitjacket. Unable to bear the thought of putting her in a horrifying sanitarium, which were notorious for human rights violations, Patrick Henry hid her in his home to keep her safe. Many people in that time period would have attributed her affliction to something like demonic possession, rather than mental illness, which was then poorly misunderstood. Sarah died in 1775 and was buried in secret in an unmarked grave on the property. Visitors to Scotchtown Plantation still claim to experience odd occurrences, often attributed to the late Sarah Henry. Sarah's spirit, which appears as a figure in white, often lights candles at night in the windows. She can sometimes be heard screaming and has even scared off some residents. Patrick Henry's own great-great-great-granddaughter refused to stay in the house overnight, as she felt an eerie, haunting presence. The many ghosts of the Pocahontas Parkway. Officially known as State Route 895 in Henrico County, it has sparked rumors of hauntings over the years. The patch of highway is reportedly home to Native American ghosts, who often appear as hazy spirits. A truck driver once saw 3 Native Americans standing in the middle of the highway holding torches. Thinking it was some kind of protest, he notified a woman standing in a nearby toll booth. She contacted the police, who found nothing upon investigation. The police were likely unsurprised, however, as officers who take the graveyard shift along Pocahontas Parkway say strange occurrences are par for the course. Officers often see the cloudy outlines of Native Americans along the highway and hear unexplained whooping, yowling, and voices along the roads. The Richmond Vampire. Richmond is home to the historic Hollywood Cemetery, which draws in paranormal enthusiasts in hunt of its alleged vampire. This myth was born in 1925, after the Churchill tunnel train collapsed. Supposedly, a terrifying figure with pointed teeth supposedly emerged from the ruins, only to disappear inside a sealed mausoleum in Hollywood Cemetery. The figure was never seen again, but that hasn't stopped locals from looking. Satanists and occult groups have reportedly gathered at the site for decades, trying to contact it. St. Albans Sanatorium. Due to notorious human rights abuses that occurred within their walls, mental institutions of the 1900s are always a haunting presence. St. Albans Sanatorium in Radford, Virginia, however, is rumored to be literally haunted. The building would eventually become St. Albans was originally constructed in 1892 as a private Lutheran boys' school. Due to mistreatment within its walls, homicides and suicides occurred frequently on campus. Eventually, the building was converted to a sanitarium where patients were mistreated and used as lab rats for procedures like lobotomies and shock therapy. According to legends, the building is now haunted. Many rooms remain at perpetual high temperatures for absolutely no reason. It's also rumored that 2 female spirits roam the basement. Paranormal investigators have visited the building several times and have seen shadowy figures and spirits throughout its walls. The Lost Treasure of Beale County. In 1885, a man named James B. Ward began selling small pamphlets for 50 cents each titled The Beale Papers. The mysterious pamphlet has been subject of fascination for many years, as it alleges a secret treasure is buried somewhere in the state. According to the story, a man named Thomas Beale and 30 other men came across a mine in Santa Fe, New Mexico, filled with gold and silver. The men raided the mine, taking much of the jewel deposits, and transported the load to Bedford County, Virginia, where they buried it in a secret location. The 3 coded letters, according to the pamphlet, would reveal the treasure's exact location, a detailed description of the treasures, and the name and contact information of the 30 other men. These papers were placed in a sealed box and given to a trusted friend of Beale's, and eventually landed in Ward's hand, who chose to publish them in his pamphlet. One cipher describing the treasure was eventually decoded, but the other 2 remain a mystery. According to experts, the papers are likely an elaborate hoax. No information verifying the existence of Thomas Beale has ever surfaced, and it's likely Ward was just hoping to earn some extra cash. Needless to say, many still search Beale County for the treasure and attempt to decipher the coded letters. Cavalier Hotel. Found in Virginia Beach, the Cavalier Hotel has long been subject to rumors of hauntings due to its gruesome history. The hotel's first owner shot himself on the 6th floor. In 1929, the founder of the Coors Beer Company jumped to his death out of an open window. While the death appeared to be a suicide, some think he was actually pushed. Some stories claim a little girl drowned in the motel's pool when going in to retrieve her cat, which had wandered out of her room. Guests report toilets flushing on their own, and receptionists say they receive mysterious calls from unoccupied rooms on the 6th floor. Security guards have noticed lights on the 6th floor turn on when no rooms are occupied. Guests also see wet footprints and paw prints throughout the hotel, and also report hearing meowing from the pool area. The Henrico Werewolf. Supposedly, Henrico County is home to a werewolf, Those who have seen it claim that it's 6 feet tall with pale gray hair. It also has the body of a person, but the face of a wolf, and can stand on its hind legs to chase away attackers. However, the werewolf so far has been mostly gentle. It hasn't hurt anyone, so perhaps it only chases people away to maintain privacy. In addition to sightings, the werewolf can be noisy. Residents who live in Henrico County sometimes hear a bizarre howling sound. While it's described as sounding somewhat like a dog howling, it has an intensity and tone that sounds different than the average canine. The Beast of Gum Hill. Bigfoot sightings run rampant throughout the United States, and Virginia has their very own version, known as the Beast of Gum Hill. According to legends, there is a Sasquatch-like creature lurking on Gum Hill in Washington County. It was allegedly first spotted by 2 hunters when they came across a large, hairy creature with a face they describe as Neanderthal sitting on a rock in Gum Hill. By some accounts, the animal can run very quickly and is easily mistaken for a bear when seen from a distance. Byrd Theatre. Opened in 1928, it is supposedly haunted by its very first manager. The spirit of Robert Coulter has been spotted many times over the years by both guests and employees. He frequently appears on the balcony, but disappears if anyone goes up to get a closer look. The Cast Iron Dog. Florence Rees, a little girl who died of scarlet fever before turning 3, is buried in Richmond's Hollywood Cemetery. If you visit her grave, you'll find a cast iron dog standing watch nearby. Why is the dog there, and where did it come from? This is a source of mystery to residents, as its origin had been lost with time. Some stories claim the dog was a donation by a shop owner who kept it displayed on Main Street. Florence and her father allegedly admired the dog, so he placed it over her grave when he heard of her passing. However, others claim the dog was going to be melted during the Civil War to make bullets. Its creator, not wanting to see it destroyed, placed it in the cemetery. Lover's Leap. Known for its spectacular view, Patrick County's Lover's Leap is also home to some urban legends. According to stories, when conflicts arose between white settlers and local Native American populations in the 1600s, a tragic love story unfolded. The son of one of the new settlers fell for the chief's daughter. They began to meet up secretly on Lover's Leap, but their forbidden love was eventually uncovered. As a result, the pair were shunned and eventually committed suicide together by jumping off Lover's Leap. And some say you can even hear them whisper when you stand on the mountain. Well, what about you? Have you experienced any of these urban legends in Virginia? Or have you experienced an urban legend from another state that you want to share? If so, send me an email at duchessdark676@gmail.com. As always, thank you so much for watching. See you next time.